What's going on? It's Justeeni here. We're back with some more Polytitans, this time on continents against the one, the only Arthur. Yes, the person that was world champion last year. I have to get my clickbait. He just happened to be in my group stage. Very lucky for me. It's good content. Not lucky in the sense that he's really good at the game, and yeah, so I have to really work for these wins. But in case you didn't see last Polytitans video, here's the tribe drafting, how it works and all that. Hopefully I have screenshots of that. It'd be really embarrassing if I didn't, because you guys would be super confused as to why I'm picking Illyrian on normal continents and why the opponent is picking Yadek. But it'll make sense, hopefully, assuming I edit videos properly. I sure hope so. Anyway, though, yeah, let's get right into things. So I go with a good old poly push opening. Gives me just enough for forestry. This was maybe a little iffy, because the one thing with the poly push here, like, I should have considered, I was thinking, oh, I have a lighthouse so I can easily upgrade my capital, but it actually kind of doesn't work out the best. Like, it's just very, very slow start. I even, like, make this warrior with the intention of going lighthouse, but then I think, well, there could be a village here, so maybe let's go for that. And this is a very slow start. I'm kind of skipping through the early turns because it's not very important, but you can just see turn 7, only 11 star per turn with Illyrian is actually quite bad. I'm hoping to kind of ramp things up with sanctuaries, but usually as Illyrian, you want to have your fast economy, so then the opponent can't just get markets. I see them claim a ruin here, so I know this explorer will meet them with certainty. And good thing I claimed the village now and didn't give them the chance to bridge, but they have a giant already, not on their capital, just on the city here, and they're already in the water, so I have to be ready for that. Luckily, it's still a ways away. Now, my plan for dealing with the giant, there's kind of a few ways to go about it. I guess you can, yeah, I workshop here. I don't go explore because I know there's probably going to be a city, and I can use that. So Juggernaut's approaching, what do? I decided to go with a pretty interesting play. I go riding roads, and a few reasons for stuff I can get Grand Bazaar. And second off, this is a kind of interesting way of deterring Juggernauts. You get these riders. If they ever park a Juggernaut too close to land, then you can just smack it to someone with riders. And if they land it, that's a pretty big commitment. If you don't have a lot of vision, it's very scary to land your Juggernaut because you don't know what's going to happen. So oftentimes you distance your Juggernaut, but it's really hard with the shape of this land to put your Juggernaut anywhere where it's not on land, but also safe. So riding's a good way of taking advantage of that. Also, I could make some bridges. All sorts of ways to give lots of headaches. It's a good way to defend Juggernauts here, because that's kind of what I have to do, because I had a bit of a slow start. It's not ideal with Illyrian when you are forced to defend like this, when the opponent can go for markets. Luckily, they don't seem to have construction yet, and they seem to be trying to attack me, so it kind of works out. Now I go farming. There's this giant here, but I do have a plan of defense. I can get my nice port connections, all that going. Get the warrior, hope that they can't siege that city. This city I'm completely ignoring, and the reason will be obvious in just a little bit. So I'm gonna unsiege, but the thing is with the Illyrian, if you just do a giant push, then your giant's just toast. Well, because it's not a giant, it's actually a dragon egg. So don't really want to go for a giant push, but I kind of, like, I have to do a push. But I need to get rid of this giant, so of course I'm going to go for Justeeni. I prepared that. Also, this Juggernaut landing was really good for me. Just able to smack that around. And this makes me very happy. So I get this. It's not like all sunshine and rainbows, because this egg has the potential to just die, which means I'm basically trading super unit for super unit, but it is a very efficient defense. So all in all, very good. I'm getting this egg, and I'm kind of having to work towards a bit of a different win condition, playing very defensively, which is not at all ideal. You see the bomber, though, just to take out the egg. Very expensive way of dealing with it. Also, archer, somehow. I think that must have been a ruin or something. But I'm going sailing. I'm trying to kind of hold things together and stall for time so I can get my dragons and maybe work towards that. Because if they're going to keep attacking me, then I actually can out-eco them. But then they just slam down markets. I don't even know how he's affording all this. I haven't checked the replay from his point of view, because I just played this game not long ago. So yeah, he's got nav, he's got markets. This is really bad. So how do I actually win here? I need to now create some sort of attack, because when the opponent has markets, you can't just sit around and let them do their thing, especially if they also have naval dominance. So I need to get something done. I'm going to pressure this bomber, and I see this is a border growth city, so I've kind of been having my eyes on that. Maybe I cloak. But it's very hard to cloak that city. And yeah, the markets are getting set up. We see riders, which I really don't like seeing because that's kind of a good deterrent for cloaks. Get the star rune here. I can't really hop on the city because they can always just kick me off. So now I go strategy, diplomacy, star rune allowing me to get it a turn sooner. I'm really just hoping. But it's not looking very promising. And these markets are not bad by any means either. If they're like really bad markets, my sanctuaries are actually going to outperform, but like, no. I'm getting some cloaks. I'm hoping if I get a cloak chain, that actually can make up for things. And then I place 2 farms because I panic, and yeah, I mean, I'm going to get the dragon egg there because I need to get dragons as well to kind of leverage something in this late game, because Illyrian, if you didn't know, they can't really use markets because they can't chop, and they usually rely on sanctuaries. I can at least unsiege this. That's nice. And because I've got that city wall, like with the defenders, I can actually like hold on for quite a while. I just need to get the breakthrough. And with this Juggernaut here, it's really not going to happen. I can't sneak a cloak next to a Juggernaut. That's just not a good play. I get another egg, but I need to stall for so long to get 3 dragons. 3 dragons is a lot, but it takes forever for these eggs to get going. And again, this is why you like to be able to attack with the Lyrian, is it's taking you so long to get like these dragons, and if they get their markets up safely, unpunished, they just have so much economy. It's not even funny. They're stepping on this city, which they're going to be able to do so much with. They can just border growth it, no problem. I go archery because I'm just trying to deter the giant. But it's kind of, yeah, these are pretty good markets, and especially for Yadek standards. Yadek usually doesn't have very good markets. They have very fast markets, but not very good markets. But in this case, Arthur's getting his cake and eating it too. Oh my. Yeah, this is just gruesome to watch. I'll I guess skip to the content part because things kind of happen, and I have this one last attempt, sending everything in. I've got knights, so kind of forcing them to stay back. I'm losing this city, soon to lose this city as well, so I just destroy everything because I'm just really relying on this one attack. If I can just somehow, like with all my dragons, just get a massive push there, then I can take the city and then maybe expand into something, and it's really hard for them to actually take my capital or any of these cities for that matter. All these like cities here are much easier to take. So I've got these cloaks, but then he reveals this cloak, and then he kills it, and then he sees there's another cloak and he reveals this and that one, and I'm just kind of toast here, so I just resign my one last out, but I do take the loss. But again, with how this works, I still have a chance of making it even with this loss, so I'll go ahead and cut to the next match. Alright, second match, and I don't know how surprising this will be, but yeah, I managed to pick Cymanti. So yeah, I know how to play Cymanti on continents at least a little bit, so yeah, and I have an extremely good spawn because it's a lighthouse spawn. So let's just kind of get right into things. Cymanti versus Imo. It's not like completely free, unless you're like really good at Cymanti, but this is a very good matchup. Imo is very strong on continents, but Cymanti is very strong, and also just pretty good against Imo as well. Imo just doesn't have a lot of counterplay to what Cymanti's doing, and you'll kind of see. If you're not familiar with Cymanti continents, I have made a video on them, but that was against Aquarion, and it plays a little bit differently than this. This is actually a better matchup than Aquarion. So getting some nice upgrades, kind of using my Shaman to explore, which is usually something you shouldn't do, but on continents it's actually completely okay. You can sort of get away with that. I go hunting, not upgrading the city, because I'm just going to go for my quick centipede. And yeah, I'm going pop growth here. Border growth doesn't really help, but border growths are going to be very important. So this city right here, not getting it yet because it's more efficient to workshop, but next turn, absolutely getting the border growth. I'm going to pop ruin, which surprisingly is actually totally useless here, at least for the time being. Nice border growth reveals a ruin. I can go back and collect, and I I'm so close to being able to use algae. I know that there's another island there, so I actually have to use a boom chi. And then I go for a push, so I can send 2 centipedes. Usually this isn't the tech order you want. You usually want to get trade and then boom chi, but I kind of have to make some sacrifices here. I really want to get to the next island. I have these 2 centipedes, I want to use them. And I can kind of waltz over. Make a boom chi here just for exploration. I see there's a potential city here because of the shoreline. But yeah, now I'm also going climbing, kind of leapfrogging over. I see them, and 2 centipedes is going to be great for taking this city. Now also network finally making use of the pop ruin. Very close to trade. Next turn I can get Clathurus going. And turn 13 trade is quite slow, but it's still not bad. Like, it's slow for Cymanti standards, but like, it's very hard to deal with. Like, I'm getting my Clathurus going. 28 star per turn with just 4 cities is quite amazing, especially since that's really only the beginning. Trust me, things will get pretty disgusting. It's just going to be a average Cymanti gameplay. Let's get a border growth here, just steal a ton of space. These border growths are going to be so crucial. I explode this for a fungi that will be important later. And by later, I mean like next turn. Now, Centipede's getting kind of injured. Star Ruin is extremely nice here. Boomchi explodes, more explosions. But the main thing, the Star Ruin helps me with this mining. I guess I didn't need the Star Ruin, but I am able to... Actually, no, I did, because I want to deny them the city. I don't have to deny. The main thing is just getting the border growth, but denying them is also nice. And yeah, you can kind of see I'm just going to play very stally, very defensive, using the Boomchi explosions and segment explosions to upgrade my Clathurus further, which basically means, like, if you attack into me, I can use segments to boost my economy. If you don't attack into me, I just use Boomchi to boost my economy. Now we see cloaks. This is an interesting response. I definitely agree with it. Like, it kind of forces me to deal with this. You can steal a ton of economy, and the economy is going to be pretty important. If I get enough stars, I win the game flat out. That's how Cymanti works. You basically, your win condition is get enough stars. And we can kind of see it's very straightforward what Arthur's trying to do with these cloaks, but I can't actually stop it. I go for a nice little push. But yeah, I can get this village at least, I guarantee that, but really not much more. I will also say, because I'm not the best at Cymanti, I am taking a lot of time with these turns. I don't quite have issues with time pressure yet, but you will see some points. I also destroy everything, and the reason for this is because I know that the cloak is coming in. So they get all the daggers, but they don't get the stars. I don't care about the daggers. I only care about them stealing my stars. So by having no stars to steal, with no economy, and destroying everything so I can further upgrade elsewhere, then yeah, it's actually very nice for me. Like, I can kill all these daggers and get a ton of fungi, and since I destroyed everything, it's refunded, so I can just get it back if I really need to. And I managed to like keep all my centipedes alive. I go for Fight G now, getting the archery. And again, thanks to destroying all that, I don't have to replace it yet. But my economy is doing really well. Another explorer, just to really see what's going on. We can see no markets. There are roads, so markets could happen, you know, with Philo. All you need is math and trade, which is not expensive as IMO. Another cloak hit. Trying to get this cloak chain going, but this cloak chain is not really going to last. I have so many centipedes, by the way. Like, all my centipedes have survived. And Cymanti's just able to get crazy good cities. Getting some explosions. Not even bothering to siege, because again, I just care about having as many stars for myself. Trading units to lower the amount of stars that both of us have, not actually that useful, at least in my opinion. It can be useful, but I generally prefer, like as Cymanti, I want to have a lot of stars, because then it means that even if the opponent has a lot of stars, it doesn't matter. Now we see a bit of a counterattack here. I tried to like set up some Boom Chi to expand a little bit. You have to play very slow. And we can see these attacks just trying to hopefully break through, because the longer you spend doing nothing, the harder it is to break through. I still don't have Dumux yet. But yeah, I'm just going to keep going. And I have 56 star per turn. That is with me being actively cloak chained. Like, and there's so many segments doing all sorts of pretty difficult micro, which is taking a lot of my time. Usually I don't have issues with timing out of my games, but whenever I play Cymanti, I find that I do, because it's not easy micro. But I'm holding on just fine. Now we see bombers. Bombers can pose a little bit of an issue, but they can't get very close, or else I just snipe them with hexapods. So yeah, it's still just, how are you getting an attack here? I'm trying to establish some more territory here. Now going for Dumux. And now the goal here is basically, if I build up enough Dumux, I can throw them all at the opponent, maybe a living island or two to also build up enough algae, and yeah, I just attack them, and also if I have enough Dumux, they can't attack into me because they'll never break through. It's already almost impossible to break through at this point. There's some catapults, really just trying to make sure you don't have to worry too much about defense. You know, I can always attack at any moment, so you have to, you know, worry about that at least a little bit. Catapults also providing some nice control. Now a cloak invasion here. Again, just trying to get something done. Now another attack attempt here. Last one kind of failed. Maybe this one will work. Because if you do nothing, I'm just building up Dumux, and just can't let that happen. But I'm trying to take out this. This is a potential bomber, so I have to get rid of it. Now I walk in with the Dumux. Again, doing some fancy micro because I want to explode, poison this, and then explode again to kill it to make another algae to give myself more room to work with. Because even though I'm still doing really well, but I am a little cramped, so I would like to deal with that. I go rituals, get some shamans because I really need one up north. And I decide to get another one here, just to make life easier. I don't really think it's fully necessary, but boosting the northern Dumux, like, is kind of bothering me, all these unboosted Dumux I can't really make use of. But more cloak attacks, and again, it's hurting my economy, but since there's no cloak attacks here, I can start to upgrade this. And again, like, I'm sustaining an amazing economy with the cloak attacks. We do see markets also. And yeah, this game kind of just keeps going. Go for a nice explosion here. The math didn't really math. It would have killed if I used the centipede to attack, which I didn't want actually. I wanted to get the Dumux in there. But I'm able to unsiege, Dumux explosion. Fungi everywhere. I'm not like immediately upgrading to get a centipede because it's not worth it. Centipede could die. Gives them more stars when they attack. Yada yada. Now going for this siege. Again, trying to deny me as many stars as possible, which is definitely the right thing to do. Like, you think like, yeah, just wait, like it's bad to attack into the Cymanti, but you don't really have a choice. If you don't attack, I'm building Dumux and I win. If you do attack, you at least waste Dumux and maybe force me to use even more stars, but this defense is just so efficient. You send this bomber here that's just too close, snipe with a hexapod, now I gain even more room, and that's going to further limit what you can do. And I do some fancy little micro there. I see this knight, which I'm worried about, so I'm trying to destroy my segments. I also make sure I defend here. At this point, kind of for a few turns actually, I've been really struggling with the clock. It's just really hard to calculate all this and do it. But I'm able to get everything nicely defended here. I explode this Boomchi because I don't know what to do with it. Make a bunch of Dumux. Don't go for the siege again. I just want to keep my hexapod alive. I explode this and then I go for this upgrade. Don't have enough time to explode the segment as well. Barely had enough time to even get the centipede. I was worried I would get a park there on accident. But luckily there's actually not a good chain. So my shaman is alive. Even if it wasn't, I'm still fine. But yeah, it just resigns. There's absolutely no way. I built up way too much. The centipede is immortal. I still have more. Like, he's starting to run out of steam too. And as I get more and more algae, like eventually I'm getting living islands, and that's my final breakthrough in the water. I make algae on these tiles, and the city's going to be under attack, and you have to defend. Yada yada. Basically, there's not really much you can do here, so it's very fair to resign. But yeah, that puts me 1-1 once again, so my total score 2-2. So I need to really make things happen next round, though. Now I can't really afford to lose any games. If I get a sweep, then I'm going to be sitting pretty for second place, hopefully. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.